Despite not being a Newmarket born and bred, this place has a strong link in your heart, doesn't it?
Well, I've been here a long time, Ollie, since before you were born, apparently. I came in 1980 and started training in 87 in the same place. We bought our little 20-box yard for a fortune. We thought it was a fortune then. And we sort of developed it over the years, and we are where we are today. So although I was born and raised in Yorkshire, my heart's here now.
And when you started out back in the day, who were you kicking around with then? Who were the sort of young bucks that you were starting out with?
We had a great group of assistant trainers in those days. We had William Jarvis was at Henry Cecil's. Fanshawe, James Fanshawe and John Ferguson were at Michael Stout's. John Hammond was at Patrick Haslam's. He trained up at Pegasus where Fanshawe is now. Who else do we have? Simon Sherwood was at Gavin Pritchard Gordon's.
It's a right collection.
Yes, James Eustace worked for Mark Tompkins. We had a very good group of people who I'm not saying knew how to behave, but we played hard and worked quite hard. Not very hard, but quite hard.
What does William Haggas do differently now as a trainer to the William Haggas that won the Derby in '96?
Well, it's a totally different operation. But you know, everyone says it, but you're only as good as the people around you, whether it's your staff, in particular the senior ones, or whether it's your owners, your clients, your customers, whatever they are described as. But you need everyone to get the team ethic in the workplace, and then you need to show that, you know, when we go out. I think and hope our staff are very proud to represent us at the races. They're always well turned out. We win lots of best turned outs. They're very proud to do what they do, I think, and I hope. And I hope the atmosphere in the yard is not too down. Obviously we get down, and that's obviously driven by me and my senior team and by Maureen. We're under, in inverted commas, pressure. Luca Kamani always used to say pressure was for tyres, but you know, we are under constant pressure to get it right. We drive ourselves to get the very best out of everything here. But it's changed. We started with 24 horses, we built it up, and then we bought a bit more of this yard. We bought this yard in 1998, this Herworth, and then we build that, we can fill that, and then we bought Flint Cottage off Mark Tompkins, probably in about, I don't know how long ago now, probably 7 or 8 years ago now. That's where all the 2-year-olds live. That's about 200 yards from here. And we've literally just bought Woodland, which is next door to us. And so we'll, in the course of time, and it'll take some time, develop that how we want it, and then we'll be satisfied, I guess. But you know, you're always striving to get better, and aspiration in all sorts of business is obviously the way forward. You've always got to try and improve, and we're trying to improve in everything we do. So this is the spa. We put it in, it cost us 3 stables. And we put it in, and the first year we put it in, we won the Lincoln with a horse that absolutely loved it. He would have walked in here on his own, called Very Wise, named after the trainer.
Talk us through it then. What does it do for a horse?
Well, basically, shut the doors, fill it up with water. If you want to cool down the ankles, then you only have to go obviously just above the ankles or the knees, and then you just fill it up. So we're going to have a horse in a minute that's just galloped this morning. She'll come in here, go in the spa, 20 minutes, perfect. I think they did a thing on At the Races, and Luke Harvey and Jason Weaver stood in it.
Yeah.
And I think Jason lasted about 10 seconds. Yeah. It's bloody freezing.
Right.
You see the vet's box? So this is where we do the scoping, and the farrier comes in here if he needs to shoe one without any bedding in the box. Okay, this is the scope. I'm no vet, by the way. This contraption goes into the machine. This goes straight up the nose and down into the horse's lungs. We squirt some sterilised water down there So it goes through all the way into the horse's lungs, and like that. Okay, that is squirted down through the tube, comes out and washes into the horse's lungs, and then we draw it straight back off and send it off for analysis. So it's called a tracheal wash because you're washing out the trachea, and if that is dirty, invariably we get it tested for whether it's a bacterial infection or a dust allergy or whatever it might be, and if it is infectious, we treat them with antibiotics, and if it's not, we may run them. But the only thing I have learned from this is they never, ever, ever run to their best. They may still win, but they don't run to their best if they're dirty in their throats, lungs. We scope them, most of them, before they run. Any coughing, we scope them, and then we treat them if we need to. And when we treat them with antibiotics, we never ride them. We always have, a bit like you, if you go to the doctor and say, I feel awful, he puts you on antibiotics, you will get better eventually if you keep on doing what you've been doing. But if you actually do what they tell you to do, stay indoors, you actually get better quicker. So that's our theory. Come on, Ollie. The theory is that it's a power plate and it's good for the circulation.
You really feel it, don't you?
Hey.
Have you ever done it for toning, William?
No. Toning. Look, toning. Gee. Oh boy. Dirty lungs.
Hang on, so
Smell it.
oh, strong, isn't it?
Gets down there.
He looks like Santa now. He's got a grey beard.
Anyway, we leave him.
So what is that? I've not actually seen that.
That's a salt box. So it gets fine particles of salt, and then when they go like this, then they get all that in their lungs, and that's supposed to cure any bacterial infection.
It is a serious point, this, because lots of people will say about horse welfare and racing and stuff, you've got a solarium and vibrating pad, a salt for to clean the lungs out, a spa within, what, an arm's length of each other. These horses are incredibly well cared for.
It is being like in a five-star hotel. That's the way we want to do it and try and get the best out of them. We're not going to succeed most of the time, but we hope that through our various aids that we're giving them the best chance of success. You ought to look at that house there in the yard. Michael and Richard Hills were born in there. Their father and mother obviously lived there. Barry Hills worked for John Oxley, who trained in this yard when he had the coup on frankincense in the Lincoln in God knows when it was, and the twins were born there.
So your Derby winning jockey was born facing
that's right.
the box that Charlotte was in?
That's right. And this is bizarre, when I had my first job in racing, I couldn't ride at all, still can't, and I was a punter. I was mad keen, and Jeremy Hindley trained one horse for my father, and I spent the weekend with him, and I said, will you give me a job? I'll do anything. I'll mow the lawn, I'll clean the car, I'll pour the drinks, I'll muck out all day. I just want to get into horses and horse racing. And he said, okay, that's fine. I started the following Monday. And the first job he gave me was, he had this snotty-nosed little kid arrive in the yard, and he said, he's never had a ride, I want you to get him rides. You can be his agent. So when you finish mucking out, get in the office and find him some rides. And that was Michael Hills.
No way.
Claiming 7, never had a ride, and he wins the Derby for me, and he's still riding out to this day. Extraordinary.
Magic.
There you are.
Thank you.
Here endeth the lesson.